Alright folks, hello and welcome back to Downstage Gaming. I'm your host Josh, and this is part 11 of our Let's Play of Head as Code. When we last left off, we had gotten our first ending for real, officially, and too much happened for me to fully recap here. Agnos went wild, killed everyone except for us and E. And then we got Anne Boleyn. And we got told that the fourth letter is Y, which was a very VLR kind of thing. Feels like, I don't know how she has that information. I'm assuming it's the code that we need for the remote, but I don't know. Anyways, let's, if I got to take a look at extras yet, what is this? Okay, just tells me, that's interesting. So 22% of, like, the total text and searches then? Lexicon is probably like the, oh, here, hello. You can tell me. Okay, so here we get important terms and concepts. Okay, interesting. Take a look at some nice CG. Yeah, you know, this happened. And this happened as well. Alright, anyways. Okay, so let's head back here. I've not had a chance yet to take a look at this flowchart. I'm very curious about it. Okay. So let's see here. So this is the big. So okay, all right. This was something I was curious about right away. So this is the intro bit that we did, right? Yes. I don't know what these percentages mean though. Huh. All right, how do I back out? There we go. All right. So, and then what does this do? It's just zooming in and out. Okay, and I can do that with my wheel as well. Alright, so that was the intro bit. Then we got here. So what is this? Short discussion later. Group 8 introduced. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, 4 duos, right. So, normally... And this tells us that that letter is Y. Okay. So normally, the way that I handle these kinds of games is by going backward. Like, normally, my first round through, I make whatever choices I actually want to make. And then I go backwards, like, from where I ended, back to towards the start. So let's do that now. Let's head back to this moment and see what happens here. So we're going to head back to us going back to the lounge. Ourselves and E quickly find ourselves in a dangerous situation. Okay, so this is going to be us going back to the moment that Agnos has just gunned down people. Now, the other thing I'm curious about is... Okay, if I hit control, is that a skip scene text? Yes. Alright, so we run into Agnos, but E helps us maintain our sanity. We go here. Okay, is this going to be a thing? Yes, I had a feeling. If only I had hints about the password, but until I did so, my options were limited. Okay, so he's talking about opening the safe here to put the gun in, right? If I'm remembering correctly? Right. But we don't know what this is the combination of the safe is. We've not done this puzzle. So this might be something we can only do after we've done that puzzle. Okay, so... Last time we did, Simon believed the gun was better on him. We could believe the gun was better stored away. Simon believed it best to try to unlock the door. I don't know how he would do that. So for now, let's try storing the gun away. I'm curious what difference this is going to make. Because the only significant time we use the gun is when we confront Agnos in a bit. And is this going to mean he, like, attacks us or something? I made my choice. It was a stupid choice. I didn't know why I chose this option, but I chose it anyway. I threw the gun into the safe and locked it up. When I closed it, even I couldn't open it anymore. I didn't know the combination. At least Agnos couldn't use it against me, and if it came to it, I would simply let him know where it was as a bargaining chip while I made my escape. Perhaps leaving it here was in my best interest? I believe that, if I made my interest in learning how to leave apparent, it would make it clear I wasn't Smiley or his accomplice. If I was, then I could have just gone. I would know how to leave if I was Smiley, but I didn't know, so I couldn't be. I mean, listen, if there's one thing I know based on these kinds of games, It's don't trust the protagonist. The protagonist, there's like a 70% chance that you're somehow secretly the villain. Yeah, this is as sound a plan as I can make it. It's not about convincing him that I'm not Smiley, but that I can't be Smiley. Also, I would like to point out that I was totally correct. I think all those times that I was like, it really feels like there's a choice here, and then it just forced one upon us. I'm glad I'm vindicated in this. This might have worked for me, but what about E? Too bad we can't ask. I glanced at the girl. She was still oblivious to most events happening. If she was Smiley, why would she hide her senses like that? This was most likely a good point to bring up when I'd eventually meet Agnes again. Okay, Simon, you can do this. It's just an old man. Convince him you're fine, get your ticket out, and leave with E while he does whatever here. Agnes, you have a good time blowing everything up. I'll see you later. Using some of my last bits of paper, I notified E that I was going to find Agnes. She vehemently opposed me doing such, with good reason. Don't do that, it's too dangerous. We should just leave right now. I used another one of my last sheets of paper to explain to her that we couldn't leave. There were scanner gates, and they would detect if we didn't find the 9th person. Which this was the thing that I brought up at the end of last time. Last time we escaped, just the 2 of us. Which, to my mind, leaves only 3 possibilities. 2 of them is one of us 2 are the 9th person. And the 3rd one is that doesn't matter. It isn't actually true. And you could leave at any point. Oh, that does sound dangerous, but is it worth taking a chance? I'll follow you anyway. Don't really have much of an option here. She resigned herself to my choice, and we both left the area. Our destination was the science lab, where he would no doubt turn up eventually. My cowardly nature was rearing its head. As I waited on the station of the science lab room, my knees quivered slightly. Damn, he was taking his time, and all this wait did was put me on edge. It was minutes later that I realized I had been waiting in vain. He wasn't coming with the train. He was at the station already. He was upstairs. Some footsteps made it clearer. He'd been immobile for a while, most likely trying to open the door, but failing. Without the remote, which I still held, he most likely stood no chance. I used my last paper to tell E to stay put. If I went upstairs to confront him, she wouldn't be in danger, but if it happened she went up the stairs too, then it wouldn't be funny. It's not like she's much safer down here. Unfortunately, that was also my last paper. I could no longer communicate with her. Understood. I'll stay down here, don't worry. Silently, I left her side and went to the lobby. I was getting really tired of these rooms, staircases, and the metro too. After this, I wouldn't take it anymore. I'm not gonna take it. Once this was done, I'd get my own fucking car and use it. That's right. Public transportation for the dogs. It was probably worse for the environment, but at least no one would abduct me in a car. Well, I've got some movies to show you, Simon. No, it was probably more secure to take the public transport. What? Fuck it. I still wanted to never have anything to do with this place. You're very indecisive, my man. Climbed the stairs and came up to the 2nd floor where the science lab was situated. As soon as I stepped in, he turned around to face me, having been busy trying to force the door open. I could tell he'd amassed a lot of tools to do so, some of which I didn't even know the purpose of. Ah, there you are. I've been waiting for you, my associate. You have the remote, and I require it to open this, so don't make this more difficult than it should be. What tells you I'll hand over the remote? My eyes trained over the many chemicals he tried to mix. This place really looked like a science lab now. It was as if he believed some mixture would dissolve the door, but so far he'd made no headway. I'm starting to believe that Agnes is just totally insane. I could also tell my question angered him a little. Good. If I could tick off that piece of shit a little, it might distract him from outsmarting me. I am completely aware we have not been getting along as much as we should have. We've both made mistakes here, you know? I killed your friends. You weren't there when I killed your friends. Instead of trusting each other then, I thought it best if we didn't at least distrust each other. He stepped forward, he did a little hoppy hop, and he stepped forward around the middle table trying to get closer to me. Unfortunately, I moved in the opposite direction, and we did this strange dance around the table for a few seconds. I am still a knight of justice, but would you stand with those who sinned? Surely you must tell that while I have done something horrible, it was necessary. None of it was necessary. I already figured out some things, and I was going to share them before you put a bullet in my friends' heads. And what do you mean, stand with? I'm not standing with anybody. All I care about is leaving this place, but I don't know how. You keep telling me I'd be told things on a need-to-know basis. Well, I need to know now. How do we leave? I'm not Smiley. E's not Smiley. If she was Smiley, why would she block her senses? If I was Smiley, why did I not run away? We don't know how to leave. We don't know what to do. We're not Smiley. Get it already. He listened intently. How about we do a trade? I need the remote, and you, apparently, need what I know, because I have understood how to leave this place. I wasn't sure about this. He might have been bluffing. I'll hand over the remote after you tell me, then. I won't need it after I can leave this place, so I have no intention or need to double-cross you. Is that okay? I suppose that would do. However, I require some kind of proof or insurance that you will do as you say and give it to me regardless. I cannot act in good faith without sufficient proof. After all, why should I trust that you would hold to your word after you've left me on the station and without my tool? Where is it anyway? I'll even tell you. Why did you give it to me in the first place? If this is so valuable, like, I had initially thought after he had given it to me and kind of did his whole manipulation act bit, I had thought maybe he was trying to, like, set us up where, like, people were gonna, like, search us later and be like, he has the remote or something. But it doesn't seem like he had any reason to give it to us. Like, we didn't trust him anymore because he gave it to us. I don't know. Seems like a weird action on his part, or one that I don't fully understand. I'll even tell you that. I'll tell you where it is first, then you tell me how to leave, and then I'll give you the remote, okay? You drive a hard bargain. Very well. I didn't know if I could trust him still, but just telling him where the gun was would be enough. He couldn't open the safe anyway. He killed the people who were able to open that safe. Okay, the gun is... But as soon as I spoke, he took off in a sprint. Damn it! Did he get me? I quickly launched after him and barreled down the stairs. Hey, we had a deal! You piece of shit, what are you doing? Simply what I must, young man. I do not actually care for the gun, so I will make you give me the remote. He's gonna get E. When I arrived at the station, I saw exactly what his plan was. He'd been stalling this whole time, trading places with me until he could get to the station. He knew I was here with E. And now... he was holding her hostage with his evil eye. Now give me the damn remote and I'll release her and be on my way. Otherwise, she will assuredly end up electrocuted to death. I clenched my teeth. I ran out of bargaining chips, now he had everything in his hand. That's not entirely true. What if we throw the remote into the electricity? I felt sorry for E. This was my fault. Completely my fault. I should have known you would do something without honor like this. Doesn't it mean anything to be a knight of justice, or what? The most important thing is to get real justice, and if you are Smiley, then you will die. But I wish to secure that remote and see what's beyond the room first, so give it over to me. He smirked while E trembled, scared witless. Who's this? Please, anyone help! I guess I have no choice. Is that fine for a deal? He softened his stance up a little while he reached in the bag the remote. I leaned down and slid it over the ground towards him after he nodded, agreeing to my terms. However, I knew he wasn't trustworthy. He released E to grab the remote. At least he was true to his word. I believe your intention in asking me about the way to leave is genuine. However, I cannot say that I have sufficient proof to think otherwise of E. For all I know, she was the one behind all this. No, she's not! Her senses are all hidden and... You don't understand. None of that is real. What she wears only obscures them. There is no special technology in this headset. In short, she is not disabled. What? It was a lie I came up with when she arrived here with me. I told her to play along and to act disabled. It would make her look inoffensive and she wouldn't be in harm's way. This saved her a couple of times already. Otherwise, she might have died before. By who? Just as I have given her this life. Now that I no longer can trust her, it is time for me to take it back. Suddenly, his hands rose and he shoved her right in the stomach with remarkable strength. What a D-bag! What a jerk! That's interesting, though. So was she lying to us last time about it healing her senses? Or is he lying to us now? I mean, we certainly have more reason to trust her than him, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's in part telling the truth. The girl held it with her hands, her breath cut short. I lunged forward while screaming. No, E! What the fuck? You piece of shit! Simon! She fell to the tracks and flailed wildly as the current coursed through her. Within a single moment, the girl had completely expired. She was dead. Even after she died, her body's spasms didn't stop as the current continued to course through her. I watched in horror. And now for this entire event's resolution. You lying sack of crap. You didn't tell me how to leave and you harmed E anyway. All that is important is my mission, and you will not interrupt it. You and I are both as insignificant to humanity as the faraway stars in the night sky. You could say that neither of our actions hold any veritable weight. And even if she'd lived longer, all she would have done is accidentally help others in their atrocities. Nonsense! You killed an innocent because you couldn't trust them. You're the one with the issues. You got issues, Agnos. Believe what you want. He disappeared, and you're still not going to tell us how to leave. What a raw deal. I needed to punish him. But how? The train wasn't coming yet. Maybe if I went down to the rails. I could hoist myself back up, but this was dangerous. All I wanted was to grab the girl and tug her back up. It wasn't possible. I tried for a few minutes, but all I could reach without getting struck by a shock was her collar. By the time I managed to lift her up and to the side of the station, my hands were charred by the electricity. I didn't care, though. The pain was nothing. All there was in my mind was rage and vengeance. He killed my friends. He killed the twins. He killed Ray. He even killed E, and now I was going to kill him. You're a dead man, Agnos. You and your stupid name. I took the girl's body with me. She was strangely heavy, but it was probably due to her status as a corpse. If my hunch was right, the moment I bring it up the stairs, we'd count as 3 people. Agnos, it's the pizza delivery man! Special delivery just for you. It's justice in a package, you fucking asshole. I walked up the stairs screaming my one-liner with pride. When he saw me carrying E inside, he panicked. No! Why did you do this? You're going to die too, you idiot! Our collars were already beeping. I don't care. I'm the fucking delivery man, and this is your pizza. I guess I forgot that he is a pizza delivery man. That'll be 25. And then I couldn't speak anymore, which is a shame, because I was really nailing it with these pizza liners. My headless body fell to the ground as the laser was triggered, slicing off Agnes's head by the same occasion. I watched him with a certain satisfaction as both our heads fell to the ground. I even managed to work up a tiny bit of muscle to smile. Or perhaps I only imagined it. That bastard could find solace in the fact true justice had been served. Then I shut down in complete darkness, the nothingness greeting me like an old friend. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Delivery bad end. Alright, so what? Oh, so this isn't a lock. Interesting. So then probably the different colored locks are legit, like, it's what you need to unlock a specific point in a path, probably. So, like, there's 5 for light green, 2 for blue, 1 for yellow, and 2 for dark green. But since it was a bad end, we didn't get anything. Fair enough. The end is reached, restore is not over. It's just circle, endless circle. Whoa! Smile and shine once again. All right, how we doing here? Yeah, we can start something new here. We got 2 different achievements here. I know you can't see these. Cyanide and something's missing. Interesting. All right. Well, let's head back here. Okay, so we got that one now. There's a lock here, which is the light green lock. That's interesting. And I'm guessing this is the total number of endings here. Alright, well, I don't think we're actually going to be able to do this because we don't know the combo. Because we haven't done this puzzle, but let's take a look. Right, need to hold it. Okay. Alright, so Agnos, people are dead. Oh, but he's still here. We gotta do something. Take the train with you to the gymnasium, the room we skipped. Okay, if I only had hints. I believe it's best to try to unlock the door. I didn't know when Agnos would catch up to us, and there only was one course of action that came to mind. Instead of doing anything with Gun, I decided I needed to get to the core of this problem. I had to get to the laboratory as soon as possible. The main problem was my identity. Agnos was so convinced that by killing everyone, he'd get Smiley. If only I could convince him otherwise, and he'd spare me at least. Didn't absolve him of his crimes. I planned to bring him to justice as soon as I was out of here, but I needed him to drop the chase. With that thought, I took the train as soon as it arrived. Okay, so we're actually talking about the... I mean, still, we don't have the password, so I don't know how this is gonna go. We arrived at the laboratory without a hitch. No sign of Agnos either. Interesting. This is a good thing, because if he'd been here, he would have gotten in the way. Worse, he could trigger the punishment for entering the station with more than 2 people by mistake. This would definitely be the worst outcome for everyone involved. Can you imagine all 3 of us being in here and then dying? Why would that ever happen? I still had no idea how to open the door, but having put the back of the remote, I noticed there was something there. Now that I wasn't in a rush to get here, I examined the little studs. They formed rectangular patterns. I knew this. It was Braille. I mean, how have you not thought about this already? How lucky that E is still here and alive! I exclaimed to myself, half sarcastic. True, it was still lucky. In fact, perhaps too lucky. I took a moment to think about what this meant. Agnos hadn't really gunned for her. Of course. He'd known... Well, but then why did he kill her last time? He'd known about the Braille. That was why he needed her alive. But that's only if he cares about breaking his way into here. Assuming the Braille is even for that. No, wait. He could read it, wouldn't he? He knows how to talk to E and stuff. Unless he was lying about that. Didn't we kind of think that last time? This was giving me a headache again, so I decided to stop trying to understand what went through his head. Even worse, I had an even bigger headache when holding the remote. E held my other hand. I pulled from her, which thankfully didn't make her panic. I needed both my hands free to write her a message. I only had one piece of paper left. I handed it to her alongside the remote. You want me to touch the remote and tell you what's written on it? I can do that, but are we near an exit? She paused, figuring that I would answer. When I didn't, she lost a bit of her composure. If we're near an exit, can't we just leave? I obviously knew otherwise, but even if I knew otherwise, there was a part of me that said I could go right now. Like this, things were fine. As if I knew the solution for the exit already. Okay, well, on the remote it says, reverse me to open the way in, and forgive me for... Huh. Also, it's interesting the thing that he just said there. There's a part of me that said I could go right now, like things were fine. So we might be getting a little bit of, this makes sense, especially given the whole her giving us a letter during that first ending thing. There's some kind of thing of remembering events or transferring of knowledge between timelines going on here. Forgive me for what? I don't understand. I didn't understand either. I plugged the remote from her as calmly as I could. Looking at it, I realized that I could enter 5 letters into it. 5 letters. I didn't know what this meant, but somewhere there was some sort of password. All I needed to do was figure it out. Simple, right? 5 letters. 1 password. I thought about it, but I just couldn't figure it out. I know the 4th letter is Y, but that's all. Okay. Now we get a to be continued. Okay. As long... I get fooled by it every time. As long as you do not know the letters, Simon will be unable to crack this code. Without them, this is not a true ending. Oh. Alright. Well then, folks, that's probably going to do it for this time. When we return next time... okay. I guess we'll head back further here, so the next time that we would make a choice here is this one. Leaving the laboratory after a strange automatic solve. Jasmine and Simon run into A&E, right? Everyone gets back. Right, this is the bit where, okay, he's gonna choose to go with A. Okay. Alright, well, I'm curious to see where that goes. Until then, folks, though, this has been Downstage Gaming. I've been your host, Josh, and I will catch you all next time.